Hello and welcome to California Bountiful. I'm your host, Aubrey Aquino. Now, you might be wondering why I'm in this bee suit. Well, bees are all around us, and here in this Southern California backyard, these hives are home to rescued bees. And this story's got quite the buzz.
About 10 years ago, I got really interested in where the food comes from and the process of how we harvest our food and where it comes from and the natural abilities we have for us to grow through that food. That idea drove me to want to more understand about our food source and not just become a chef. I wanted to be more of a cultivator of food and help others through that cultivation.
Chef turned apiarist Donald Lockhart began beekeeping as a hobby before getting into the bee's nest.
Okay, right now we're looking and inspecting the hive. I was at a resort in Southern California where we had an abandoned beehive. And that's how mine and Janet's relation started. We had this abandoned beehive and I wanted someone to come and teach us how to work with the bees and care for the bees. And by doing that, I ended up being taught from Janet how to care for the bees and to manage. And basically it created this animal husbandry program that we started to foster in the resort. Now 13 years later, I'm actually going through and rescuing multiple hives or hundreds of hives from different locations, from bird boxes to houses to irrigation covers and trees and bushes, and we find ourselves here today.
Rescue, remove, and relocate. Donald credits his honey love to Janet Andrews, founder of Orange County's Backyard Bees.
Southern California especially has a lot of bees. There's not a problem, but they get in places that they're not wanted. You know, if they get in the roof of your house, which a lot of them do, they get in up through the eaves, those little vent holes. They get another place they always get is in irrigation boxes. Birdhouses are a lot of them. We get calls all the time, especially swarm season, which is, the first in spring. Because when conditions are good, the bees, that's how they propagate their species. And that's where we get all our beehives. I've never bought, in all these years, with 100 hives, I've never bought a single bee or queen. So it's just what we've rescued.
Backyard Bees offers an alternative to honeybee extermination. Bees are removed from places they're unwanted and relocated into a wooden hive box in backyards where they can continue pollinating.
Right now we're in northern Santa Ana in one of our 16 apiaries. We have 8 hives in different stages of growth, some that are probably ready to harvest and then others that are probably ready for a new box. So we try to get in and look inside the hives every 3 to 4 weeks. So this one is a partially drawn out comb. They're starting to fill with nectar. I love the idea that working with bees is producing a positive culture experience where we're not killing the bees. I love the idea that we get to care for those animals that help us produce food that we can live off of. I love the connection and sharing that connection with the guests through being a chef and caring about your food and how it's produced, and not just accepting it came off a truck, but being involved in that. And it gives you a chance for choices of how the food is provided to you and how you end up nourishing our guests with it. It's actually a stress relief too from the long days in the kitchens. We don't control the bees. The bees are an entity or a life force that is going to do what it's going to do. You have absolutely no control over it. You can only make suggestions and you can try to help curve character or nature, but you can't control nature. And they're amazing animals and they're loving and caring, but they're not aggressive unless you are aggressive toward them. We only work with feral bees that we have rescued from the Orange County area. There's almost not 2 of the same kind why people want bees in their backyard. Some of it's because they have a lot of fruit trees. Some people love the idea of caring for the bees, want to support the idea and the belief that we need our bees. They help provide the pollinating for 70% of the food that we eat. They are extreme importance for our lifestyle and the way we live and the idea that we want to keep living as a society. So There are some people that just believe they want to be a part of that support to keep the ecosystem going.
So when we keep bees at someone's yard, they get 10% of the honey that's whatever, and you can't count on it. You don't know what it's going to be like. Sometimes ants get into the hive and the hives leave. But if things all go well, you can get at least 50 pounds out of one hive. So if you've got 10 hives in your yard, you're going to get a decent amount, and then you get pollination. But we do everything for the bees. You just provide the location and we take care of everything else.